What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to the Tour Junkies After Dark, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. We are the Tour Junkies. Just got done wrapping up our podcast for the 2022 Valero Texas Open from TPC San Antonio. And here we are to talk about our favorite bets on the betting board for outright wins and top 20s on DraftKings. So far, it's late on Monday night. Listen, it's the Valero, okay? It's the week before the Masters. Everybody's ready for the Masters, but this is a place that you can hit a long shot. We've had some 200-1 winners over the last few years here at Valero. We've had a 350-1 winner here who's a friend of the podcast last few years in Stephen Bowditch. But your defending champion is Jordan Spieth at around 12-1. This does seem to be one of those years. It's a really weak field. You've got Rory, Bryson, Jordan, Hideki, and that's really it. I mean, and Hideki and Bryson, what are they, injured? Hideki had his neck thing from the Players' Championship. Bryson's got his wrist injury and his Saudi Arabia ties to the golf league there. Rory's never played here other than like 2013 where he finished top 5. Why is he here? We don't know. But it feels like one of those weeks, one of those years where it could be a long shot, Pat. I'm pumped about it. If you want more info, more insight on how the golf course is going to play, you can check out our course breakdown video on TPC San Antonio on our channel. Pat Mayo is also on the DraftKings channel doing his thing. But give it a thumbs up. Give this video a like, a subscribe if you don't mind. Who's your pick to win the Valero Texas Open 2022? And me and Pat are going to try to give you some winners here today. Our favorite picks on DraftKings. Pat, let's get into it at the top of the board. Anybody that you like shorter than 30-1?
I tell you, it's hard for me this week to take a lot of guys with the shorter odds. But I think there's two really that stand out for me. One is Corey Connors at 18-1. Now that feels a little squeamish, I know.
Yeah.
And you may be thinking, well, Pat's had a lot to drink tonight because it's DraftKings After Dark, and why would he take somebody like Corey Connors at 18-1? There's nobody else to take this short. I mean, there really isn't. I mean, Corey Connors has been playing fantastic lately. Just had a good run at the match play last week in Texas.
Do you think he's tired? I mean, after 5 days of competitive golf, mentally, emotionally drained from match play, do you think he's a little weary?
I think he could be, but, I also think he's one of those guys that just loves to play. And we've seen that, with several guys out here on tour. I can't remember who I was listening to recently that was talking about, I don't know what show it was, but just how much they love to play. And I think sometimes the strokes gained, bleeding or whatever we said about these guys.
Strokes bled grinding, playing like a lot of events in a row.
Yeah, it gets a little overblown because these guys love to play golf. But I still like Corey Connors at 18-1. I also like Chris Kirk at 25-1. Chris Kirk is a guy that fits this course very well. He's got a good course history here. I think it'd be a great story if he also won this tournament, got into the Masters after everything that he's been through. So I like Chris Kirk also at 25-1. Those are the two guys really shorter than 30-1 that I think you can make some outright bets on.
Yeah, I'm out on all of them. I do not think this is a year where a shorter number wins. I looked at Jordan Spieth, your defending champ. When he came into this event last year, he was hitting the ball much better than he is right now. Mm-hmm. If you compare his strokes gained off the tee, strokes gained approach numbers now, it looks more like it looked in 2019, where he came into this event and he finished 30th. I just don't think Jordan's hitting it good enough at the moment to bet him outright. I do like Rory potentially in DFS, but there's a lot of question marks there, and I don't bet the shortest number on the board. So Corey Connors is the most interesting one to me if I was going to bet somebody here, but I'm not doing it. I think I'm going to pass, and I'm going to pass on Chris Kirk at 25-1. I don't like the value on Kirk at 25-1 on that number. He's borderline to me anyway to be in this range. So I think I'm out. I'm going to live in this mid-range and some long shots, Pat. So let me dish those out to you.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Give them to me.
I'm going to give him to you. I like Adam Hadwin at 40-1, finished ninth at the Players' Championship, had a great Sunday, followed that up with a 7th place finish at the Valspar. Adam Hadwin been playing some really strong golf, finished here, played here in 2021, finished 23rd, and just, hits the ball, hits a lot of fairways, irons are decent, putting is great. Like, Adam Hadwin fits the bill for a winner here for sure. I like him at 40-1. I like Patton Kizzire at 55-1. Patton's been playing really good golf, multiple PGA Tour winner. To me, that's a value for him. I like Kevin Streelman a little bit. Now, you're like, dude, Kevin Streelman's been on tour for forever, and he's won like 3 times, and it's been a long time since he's won. You're right. But he's got 6th place finish here in 2019, an 8th place finish here in 2018. He clearly likes the layout at the Oaks course here at TPC San Antonio. He's coming off a 7th place finish at the Valspar, 22nd at the Players, 16th at the Honda. Like, Kevin's been playing very, very well. And, when guys like Andrew Landry win here, then that means a guy like Kevin Streelman can totally win here. I like him at 65-1. And then 2 guys at 75-1 that I'm interested in. Matt Kutcher is a course horse. He loves the Valero Texas Open. Great record here. I'm talking great record. And he's had a couple of decent finishes lately, even though he's an old guy. All right? Even though he's an old fart, he's had some good finishes. 75-1 to win. And then Sahith Theegala at 75-1. Sahith is a guy that we saw get in the hunt and almost close one out on the West Coast Swing. I'm trying to remember what event that was. The Phoenix, Waste Management. He was everybody's favorite at the Waste Management. Comes over here on the East Coast, and I'm like, can Sahith do the whole East Coast thing? And he finishes 7th at the Valspar. That's a tough golf course. Copperhead, Innisbrook. His first time around Copperhead, finishes 7th. I think the kid has now been through the fire that is late Sunday action. And he played well at Corrales at the Punta Cana event just last week. He's checking a lot of boxes. 75-1. I think the kid is ready to win. I really, really do. So I like him. Him and Kutcher both at 75-1 before we get into that 100-1 range and the super long shot bombs. Who you got in the longer range up to that 100-1 number?
All right. Well, I'll give you a couple in here that I like. One is a guy that we just saw lose in a playoff to Sam Burns at the Valspar, and that is Davis Riley at 65-1. If you're looking out there across the board with different books, DraftKings has the best number on Davis Riley right now. So I think 65-1 is a really good number for him. I like the confidence that he has going into this event. You mentioned on the betting and the DFS show that he won a Corn Ferry event here on this very course. So I think Davis Riley at 65-1 is a good number there. Another guy that's a little bit longer, coming off of a T6 at the Players Championship, is Doug Gim at 80-1. Now, Doug Gim last year, he started the year extremely well. He was a guy that we kind of had, we were both talking about, and then he fizzled out later in the year and really had a tough start to the beginning of this year. But I think his game's coming around again. And Doug Gim is a guy that I think can win on tour. And this is an event where we've seen guys get their first victory. And so I think Doug Gim at 80-1 is a pretty good number. Outside of that, those are my 2 favorites before we get into like the triple digits here.
All right, let's get into the triple digit range, the long shots, which have a record of winning here. I mean, Corey Connors, Andrew Landry, both winners in the last 3 renewals of this event at 200-1. Stephen Bowditch won here a few years back at 350-1. Martin Laird's won here at 100-1. There's been some long shot winners at this event. It can happen. It is a very weak field. TPC San Antonio, tough golf course, green, from a greens and regulation standpoint, a guy who has been hitting a ton of greens and regulation, whose irons are super solid, and he almost found himself, in a playoff just a couple of weeks ago at the Valspar, Matthew Naismith at 100-1 on DraftKings.
Yes, love it.
I love that number for him. He could, Davis Riley lost in that playoff to Sam Burns. Matthew Naismith was in the final group that Sunday playing with Davis Riley and played great. Like, he actually didn't like cough it up. He just didn't quite get it done. But I like him at 100-1. I like David Lipsky at 140-1. You mentioned the Korn Ferry Tour events that were here in 2020 in the summer. He won the event at TPC San Antonio on the Canyons course. This week they're playing on the Oaks course, but same property. David Lipsky, and he's been playing well. He's been playing solid, played well at the Dominican Republic event at the Corrales just this past week. I like that. And then just two bombs. I mean, total bombs. Doc Redman at 250-1. Now, you say, David, who's going to win at 250-1? Well, I gave you Hudson Swafford on this very show just about 2 months ago. I gave you Hudson Swafford at 250-1, and he won. Okay. Doc Redman, good player, great iron player, great off the tee, just needs the putter to be average, and he's in contention. He's been on the PGA Tour a few years. He's been in contention before. He did miss his last cut, but at Corrales, but he still hit the ball great. He just putted and chipped terribly. I like Redman here at 250-1. And then a guy who at Corrales finished runner-up and had a chance to win Corrales is Ben Martin at 300-1. 300-1 for a guy coming off, a runner-up finish in a very weak field is a stupid long number. He should probably be in like the 180 range, which is still stupid long. But like 300-1 is insane. So if you can catch Ben Martin at 300-1, it might be more of a top 20 bet. I'll get into those in a second. But that's it for me in terms of outrights at 100-1 or longer. What do you got?
All right. I got a couple.
I guess my light is gone.
Yeah. We said that before the show that it was going to go out. I got a couple here that I'll give you. I do like Matthew Naismith. I was with you there. I like Alex Smalley at 110-1. He's a guy that's been playing well all year long. He finished second last week. I went to high school, actually in middle school, with a girl, and her last name was Smalley.
Cool. I went to middle school with a girl too.
And she had a weird body shape.
Okay.
It's like a weird body shape.
Okay.
But
moving on.
But anyway,
this is after dark.
What was I talking about? Body shape?
Yeah, you're talking about Alex Smalley.
Alex Smalley. Yeah, 110-1. Also, another guy that I like here in this range, 180-1, is Kevin Chappell. He's won this tournament before. Finished well last week after starting very poorly. So I like Kevin Chappell. He's at 180-1. And I think that's it. I thought I had one more, but I can't remember. The Alex Smalley thing threw me off a little bit.
Nice.
That's all I got. DB.
Top 20s.
I do have some top 20s.
I got a couple of those. I mentioned Spieth. He's at plus 350. I mentioned Lipsky. He's at 5-1. Naismith is at plus 550. That's very good for Naismith. Why is he Naismith's 100-1 to win outright. Lipsky's 140-1 to win outright, but Lipsky's shorter to top 20. Not sure about that. I like Grayson Sigg at 4-1 to top 20. He's just on the cusp. Okay, the kid is a great ball striker. Played at University of Georgia. Order of merit on the Korn Ferry Tour. Like, he's bound to start putting himself in contention on Sunday. And I think a top 20 is definitely in the realm of possibility for Grayson Sigg. Nick Taylor at plus 250 and Patton Kizzire at plus 240 are a couple values that I like up top. Or I say up top. I mean, really, plus 240, plus 250 for a top 20 is very middle of the road. But I don't know. Like, I don't love, with the variance of this event and the long shots doing well, I don't love betting like, Corey Connors is a top 20 at like minus
I hear you,
11 or whatever it is. So that's it.
All right, a couple for me here. There's a few that you could just like infer that because I like them outright that you could bet them top 20 as well. But a couple that I did not mention as outrights. Ricky Fowler is plus 300 as a top 20. I don't think he wins this tournament, but I think he could easily finish in the top 20. He's finished in the top 20 the last 2 years here. So I like that. I like Hayden Buckley is plus 600 as a top 20. He's had four top 20s this year on tour. So if you want a guy that's a little bit longer odds that has proven to have some top 20s, then take some Hayden Buckley there at plus 600. So there you go.
All right, there you go. There you have it. Some outright bets to pay attention to, some top 20s to pay attention to on DraftKings Sportsbook. We are the Tour Junkies. We break it down every single week on the PGA Tour, giving you all the goods that you need to bet, to play DFS, all that good stuff. We're pumped for the Masters. The Masters show is going to drop on Sunday night for Tour Junkies After Dark. We're going to get out on that early. A ton of Masters content already coming out on our channel, and I'm sure DraftKings as well, so check that out as well. It's in our backyard right here in Augusta, Georgia. I can't wait, Pat. It's going to be good.
Either. Thanks
for watching. Give it a thumbs up. Give it a subscribe. Leave us a comment. Who you think's taking down the Valero Texas Open? We'd appreciate it. And may your screens be green. Let's have a week. See ya.